Welcome everyone to another episode of the Down Under Stormtrooper. So there's been lots of distractions of late. I've been working on the space pack build, I've been working on getting the UV Stormtrooper kit approved, but it's finally time to return to the roots of this video series, and that was to get the 3D printed Rogue One Stormtrooper costume built. So I've got a brand new printer, it's the Bambu Labs P1S, and it's lightning fast. It's been printing great quality, and I'm really happy with it. So I've been printing the forearms, the thigh pieces that have been done, I've done the shoulder bells, the cod piece, some of the little greebles that go onto the back plate, and I've also got just my last prints from the Anycubic was the thighs. So you can see I've just roughly sticky taped that together. So today what I'm going to do is clear away most of this, stop that. So today I'm going to clear away this mess and put it back into the box and focus on getting the thigh pieces built. Before I started printing the entire thigh piece, I thought I'd just make a bit of a ring just to size the thigh against my leg. So this is just a cross section. I went into the slicer and just did a very thin piece of the model and sized that up. And when I wore that for the first time and checked it out, it actually worked really well. I thought that was going to be fine. I put on the undersuit because we mentioned in other videos that it's always a good idea to wear your actual undersuit when trying on things, because the undersuit does sort of compress and hold the body a little bit tighter. And unfortunately, I was a little bit gung-ho and I thought, yep, that size is perfect, and I printed the whole thing. Now this is all being glued, obviously not finished. But then I put this on and discovered that it was way too small. It just didn't get high enough up the leg to be able to sort of accommodate things like the calf pieces and the cod piece. So I pretty much had to start from scratch again. So I knew the size that was a little bit too small, which was the default size of the model. And then I went ahead and printed two other sizes. So this one ended up being way too big, and then this one was the Goldilocks size. It fit perfectly. So just a little bit of give around the top of the thigh, and it was great. So this ended up being scaled up to about 11.05% of the original model for me. But yeah, I strongly recommend doing this, and maybe just sort of double checking properly when you size it, because you don't want to go wasting plastic. So once I had my scale correct, I was able to then print the final pieces. So these are just roughly put together with a bit of duct tape on the inside, and it's got a thin piece that comes off separately. Now, when these kits go together, in the movie they actually are separated down the middle. So I could, if I wanted to, keep these separate, but I think the thigh pieces are so large that I don't think I need to go about doing that. I'm not going for Centurion status, which means that I would have to build the costume to be as movie accurate as possible. So I'm just really building this for more of a stunt level. So I think for this instance, for the ease of wearing and packing and I guess putting it all together, I'm actually going to keep this as one piece, because I can easily get my leg through this in and out, and it's not going to be a problem. The calf pieces I will do two separate halves for that though. That'll make it easier to get on. In fact, I can't get my foot through unless it's pulled apart. And the calf piece, which we'll show in a different video, doesn't go together the same way as like the UV kit do, where they've got that flexible plastic. So that's the thing with 3D printed parts. These aren't really flexible at all, they're really rigid. So you have to put some different build techniques or assembly techniques together with this. All right, so my first step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work by halves. So I'm going to get the one half glued together, get the other half glued, and then merge them together completely. Then I can start the fun job of sanding. The glue I'm going to use is the Weld-On 16. So this is it's a fast set, but it's not runny like the other Weld-On products. So this will give me a little bit of time to put it together, but it does dry pretty quickly. So it's saying that a fixture time of 10 minutes and a working time about 5 to 6 minutes. So that gives me a little bit of time just to make sure I get it in the right spot. I have been trying to use Zap-A-Gap on some of these. In fact, this small piece was put together with Zap-A-Gap, but I was finding it wasn't quite sticking. Even though I roughed up the plastic, it wasn't really adhering the two pieces together. So I figured I'd use the Weld-On, because that will actually merge those two bits of plastic and fuse them together, weld them, like the name says. All right, let's get started. So you may notice I've been trying out a new tool here. This is a foot sander. I've been seeing lots of videos on YouTube of people using this to finish off their 3D prints, so I thought I'd give it a go. So it is actually a sander that's designed to remove calluses and clean up the soles of your feet, you know, get rid of bunions and gross stuff like that. I'm not a Tarantino, so yeah, feet gross me out. So yeah, I thought I'd give this a try. It doesn't rotate at a really high speed, so it's not going to go melt in your plastic, which is really important. So I thought I'll give it a go. I think it might be really handy when I get to do the UV resin sanding. And yeah, see how it goes. Yeah, so you can see how I've swapped over from using the little foot sander to just doing this by hand. To be honest, I found the foot sander was just taking too long. Maybe it's best left for bunions. Fortunately, the quality of the prints from P1S are really good, so it's actually not taking a lot of work to knock off that the layer line. So here's the print. It's probably a little bit hard to see on camera, but that's the print without any sanding. Obviously, I'm sanding this back now, but really compared to the old printer, yeah, this is a lot finer quality print, so I'm really happy with that. Okay, time to mix up some UV resin. So as usual, just like to do a little bit at a time, and I'm going to mix in some baby powder just to make it a little bit more viscous, and you do need to add a fair bit of baby powder. Let's mix this up. For a change, I'm going to be trying to just coat this with a brush. I'll see how this goes. My intent of doing it with a brush is it might leave a little less residue compared to the sponges that I usually use. I'm hoping that the lines will even out a little bit as well, the brush strokes. And I'm just applying a little bit at a time, doing small areas. And that'll help me make sure that I'm not missing anywhere. One of the things I'm making sure I'm doing is ensuring that the seam is filled with the resin. Once we sand that, that seam will then disappear. You won't be able to see it at all. So that's the outside of the thigh pieces. They're all ready for the spray putty, which will give it that really nice final gloss. I will also add some fiberglass reinforcement to these before I wrap up the development and the painting of these. But I think for now that will be an end for this video. All right, as always, may those costuming gods be with you.